How many of you, ladies and gentlemen, in this class ever celebrated holidays like Christmas with your family? Okay, good, me too. It, it might be important because it is a celebration of tradition, and keeping up with tradition is understanding your heritage. When I was young, one holiday that most fabricated me was Kwanzaa. And wanting to know more about my history and my culture, I was excited to do research on Kwanzaa, and today I will be informing you about Kwanzaa. And because this holiday was literally made in mind for people who look like me, I feel confident that I can explain to you what Kwanzaa is. I'll be focusing on three principles in my presentation. I'll be focusing on three aspects of my presentation. I'll be focusing on the history, the principles, and the reason why it's celebrated. First thing you have to ask yourself is, what is Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa is a celebration held in the United States and in other nations of the African diaspora. The celebration honors African heritage and African American culture and is observed from December 26th to January 1st, accumulating in a feast and gift giving. Melina Karinga, also known as Ronald McKinley Everett, created Kwanzaa in 1966 as the first specifically African American holiday, although June 19th is also observed by some as a national holiday within its own right. The choice of Swahili as an East African language reflects its status as a Pan-African, reflects its symbol as a Pan-Africanism, especially in the 1960s. So he chose a East African language to symbolize Kwanzaa, and Kwanzaa means first fruit of the harvest. Dictionary.com describes Pan-Africanism as the idea or advocacy of a political alliance or union with all the African nations. So if all the nations join together, what would that look like? What kind? Karinga established the holiday to help African Americans reconnect with the cultural and historical heritage by uniting in meditation and study of African traditions. And the seven principles Karinga himself is quoted in stating is to be a commentary African philosophy. So during the 1960s, a lot of things were happening around the world, especially for African Americans, and he wanted to take what we had, the success that you can arguably did get and receive, and how can he go back to the ancestors of Africa, utilize what they did, and bring that into daily living to uplift our own community. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the principles next, and these are all expressed with African proverbs. The book had them like that. In the book, The Folklore of American Holidays, written by editors Hume, Cohen, and Tristan Coffin, is a list of the seven principles of African heritage as thought out by Karinga himself. The book was published in 1999. The principles are umaje, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in family, community, nation, and other ethnic groups. Two spider webs joined together can tie up a lion. That is an Ethiopian proverb. Sorry about that, but it's self-determination, to define ourselves as well as to create and speak for ourselves. No matter how full the river, it still wants to grow. That is a Zahirian proverb. And we have Ujima, which is creative work and responsibility to build and maintain our community and make our brothers and sisters' problems and to take those problems and solve them together. And when two elephants fight, only the grass will suffer. And that is a Nigerian proverb. Hujame, which is cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores, our shops, our business, and to make them more profitable than we inherited. And a brother is like one's shoulder. And that is a Somalian proverb. Number 5 is Nia, which is purpose, to make our collective vacation and building and developing our community more beneficial and beautiful than we inherited. He who learns teaches, and that is an Ethiopian proverb. And the last two we have is Kuumba, which is creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to restore our people to their traditional goodness. And the last one is Imani, which is faith, to believe with all our hearts in our parents, our people, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness of our struggle. And that is a Assyrian proverb. Families celebrating Kwanzaa decorate their houses with objects of art, colorful African cloth. It is customary to include children in Kwanzaa ceremonies and give respect and gratitude to ancestors. A Kwanzaa ceremony may include musical selection, lighting by candles, performance rituals, and finally feast and gift giving. And this information was given to me on holiday.net/Kwanzaa/celebrate, and it was uploaded in 1995. Reasons for people celebrating Kwanzaa, as quoted by 3 authors. The first one is Shining Latina. She wrote the book Connecting Kwanzaa and Literature to Build a Classroom Community in 2003. She states Melina Karinga created Kwanzaa in 1966 as a way of uplifting members of the Black community in the United States and elsewhere, incorporating the values and principles. On the website, official Kwanzaa website.org in 1999, when it was uploaded, states, as an African American and Pan-African holiday celebrated by millions throughout the world, African community, Kwanzaa brings a message which speaks to bestow what it means to be African and human in the fullest sense. And lastly, Kenneth A. Myers, who is Assistant Professor of History and African American Studies at the University of Minnesota, published in his book titled A Black Power in the Meaning of African American Holiday Tradition in 2009, states, imitation is the highest form of flattery. Never has this been truer within the Black holiday tradition. Kwanzaa accomplishes several things for African Americans. Certainly, it gives Blacks a holiday of their own. It allows many Blacks to re-examine their African roots. It provides African Americans a year-end holiday alternative to Christmas. And lastly, Kwanzaa serves as a bridge to other Black holidays that came before it. When I was 19, I was very much quiet and to myself. And around this time, I would randomly think what principles and philosophies could be adopted to give to the Black community. Understanding more about this holiday, I'm happy I know more about what can keep our community together through the celebration. I'm confident to say that the themes within this holiday can be expressed throughout any culture. I have presented information about Kwanzaa. Among the essential informations are the history, the principles, and reasons for why it's celebrated among Africans around the world. To conclude, it's been a pleasure to share with you what I've gained from this knowledge, and I hope it was fulfilling for you to hear. But most, I hope you grow and use the principles in your own family if you want to. Thank you.